What is going on, guys? It is a Tuesday night. Welcome to News 6 Weather Live at 9:30. I'm meteorologist Jonathan Kegges, and it has still been on the gloomy side and on the raw side and on the damp side in Central Florida. I think the sky cams say it all. This is a live look tonight brought to you by our friends at WeatherStem. Thank you so much for the use of their extensive camera network. Wildwood locked in the clouds. Jacksonville Beach really locked in the clouds. That low-hanging overcast continues to plague most of the Florida peninsula. Gradually, we will get that back, but for tonight, for the most part, they're sticking around, and we're going to be in and out of the clouds tomorrow. And then I think by the end of this week, for most of Florida, the Sunshine State will be living up to its name. So it is all in going to be good fun over the next couple of days. And I think the most comfortable weather in the country is going to be situated and settling in as we move towards the end of this work week, mid to late work week. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the cool night coming on the pipeline again tonight and when that wind backs off. And then, of course, before we hit the first break, it's Tuesday. And when we are outside of hurricane season, Tuesday is Trivia Tuesday. So we're going to give you your trivia question. The one thing that I ask is that you do not look it up, because it takes the fun out of everything. And with AI and with Google and everything like that, it is easily accessible. So we're going to get all into that. That is going to be before the first break. And if there's time, we'll get to some questions at the end or maybe in between some of the segments whenever I have a shot. All right, so here is the deal. We are still dealing with the clouds. High pressure is close by. We are waiting on that chunk of high pressure to try and help to take away the clouds that are in play. But we have a lot of moisture at the surface. Kimberly mentioned it. The dew point's up there, so there's still a lot of moisture. And that's been the one kind of difference between this round of chilly air and the last few. The last couple have been very, very dry air masses. So we've had the crystal clear skies following the front. This time, not so much. We're bringing in the moisture, so it's kind of that damp, ugly cold. So when you go outside, you just feel damp. It just like goes into your bones. It's certainly not as cold as the last couple of big cold fronts that have come on through. But man, it kind of feels ugly outside. If you ask me, we're going to get some of that drier air in here by the end of this work week with our next front coming through. Now, there's a couple of questions about the wind. I do think the wind backs off tomorrow a little bit. However, there's another front coming on Thursday that's going to crank up the wind once again, especially along the coast. So I want to show you the wind forecast here, and we will go deep into this. So this is going to be tomorrow, and it's still a little breezy. It does back off, but it will still be a little breezy tomorrow. 10 to 15 mile per hour wind gusts, maybe even pushing 20 at times. So it's still walk in the park, but it should be lower than what it is today. And then as we get into Thursday, there goes the wind again, picking back up. And we're going to be dealing with wind gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour across the bulk of Central Florida. So we are going to keep that breeze around as well over the next couple of days. I do think it backs off a little bit, relatively speaking, tomorrow. But it is chilly out there. Look at this. Tallahassee has already slipped into the upper 30s. These are actual air temperatures right now. So it is 39 in Tallahassee. It is 47 degrees in Jacksonville, and it is 45 degrees in Pensacola. And that kind of where that 39 is, you might be wondering, okay, that's kind of a weird thing. And I'm double checking, and it is. I'm making sure that the surface observation, I'm looking at my other computer that has the surface observations on there. It has 39. The computer has 39. We're pulling in that data. I just wanted to make sure that it was updating correctly. And it is, but the reason for that, we just took a look at where that high pressure is. It's right over Tallahassee. And underneath high pressure, you get clear skies, you get calm winds. That's perfect ingredients for the temperatures to plummet when the air is dry, and the air is much, much drier across the Florida Panhandle. So just a couple of things, Meteorology 101 there. That is why it's so much colder in Tallahassee. That's tomorrow morning in Tallahassee at 39 compared to the 45 to its west and the 47 to its east. So some cool stuff there. Orlando's at 58. We're at 73 in West Palm. A very nice and comfortable 70 degrees in Miami. So a nice night in South Florida tonight. Another cool start to the morning. tomorrow, this is going to be the temperature when you wake up. I think the model, I mean, this is the model forecast, but the model's already wrong in Tallahassee. It's already 7 degrees cooler than that. And again, that's why models are not gospel, they are guidance. Temperature is going to be in the mid to the upper 40s across the northern tier of Florida. Um, I don't think this is weird. It must be a different day. Hold on, let me check. There's no way that I think the day might have got screwed up. Yep, I was gonna say that's more like it. There we go. I'm like that is way too messed up. I think 55 is too warm for Orlando. I think the low temperature tomorrow is around 51 ish. 36 in Tallahassee is more like it, 43 in Jax, 44 in Pensacola. So it's going to be cold pretty much from Gainesville, St. Augustine, and north. It's going to be chilly in Central Florida, but not as cold as up there where their skies are clear and they are able to radiate some of the warmth back on out of here. And you see it slowly warm up as we get into tomorrow. Nearly everybody in Florida is going to be below normal in the temperature department. These are the high temperature forecast for tomorrow, Wednesday, December 10th. We're back to the mid 60s in Pensacola. We're at 64 degrees in Tallahassee, 66 in Jacksonville, and then low to mid 70s in interior Central Florida tomorrow. So it should be a much better day. Again, the wind not non-existent, but it does back off a little bit. And we will see, I think, a few more breaks in the clouds into the afternoon. That's going to lead us into Thursday, which I do think that's when the door kind of breaks in a little bit. And that's when we start to get some of the drier air back into Central Florida working through. I wanted to show you the high resolution model. This is 1 o'clock. And you see there's the break. So I think we see a little more sunshine kind of lingering into the afternoon where we had the sun early today. We keep it into the afternoon. I mean, there will be a few clouds out there. And then moving into Thursday, that's early in the morning. And then there's the front coming through. Nice, clean sweep. Nice, clean sweep. And then that one will, I think, cool us down just a little bit further getting into the end of next work week. So that's kind of the progression of the next front that comes through. That's going to give us a nice, clean sweep into Thursday into Friday, and then pretty much lead to a near perfect weekend. I think we're going to have the best weather in the country. I'll go on a limb to say that really starting on Thursday, the best weather in the country is going to be right here in Florida. Mentioned this the other day about the sunset, and I wanted to show you this map to kind of show you the progression here as we get deeper into winter. Well, into winter, because technically winter hasn't started yet. That's going to start on December 21st. But the earliest sunset time in Florida has happened. We have cleared that. That was the other day. And from this point on, our sunsets will increase by a little bit. You're not going to notice it for a while, but technically today or Monday was the first time that we had our sunset set at 5:29 in Orlando. The earliest sunset that we see in Central Florida is 5:28. So we are working our way up. Now, with that said, the daylight, that's the word I'm looking for, will continue to decrease until the winter solstice. That is the shortest day of the year. That will continue to decrease because the sunrise gets a little later to make up for that. So the sunrise is still getting a little bit later up until December 21st as well. The daylight's going to continue to decrease as a whole from start to finish until December 21st. But then gradually we pull our way out of that. All right, are you guys ready for the trivia question? Show of hands. It is Trivia Tuesday here on News 6 live at 9:30. Typically the second part of this in the summertime because there's normally storms around that we're tracking. And then we have the tropics to talk about and to take out some of that trash. We don't have that, thankfully, this time around. So wanted to give each day a theme. And Tuesday, since there's alliteration, is going to be Trivia Tuesday. I love trivia. I hope you guys love trivia. I love weather trivia. So here we go. Before we go to break, I want you guys to marinate on this a little bit. Which type of cloud, since we're talking about snow across the northern tier of the country, and tomorrow is Weather Headline Wednesday, so we're going to take a look at what is going on across the northern tier of the country, and it's going to relate back to Florida. But anyway, I'll get ahead of myself. Which type of cloud is most commonly associated with snowfall? And post it in the comments if you know it. Again, please don't look it up. Is it A, cirrus clouds? Are they stratus clouds? B, are they C, nimbostratus clouds? Or are they D, cumulonimbus clouds? So A, cirrus, B, stratus, C, nimbostratus, D, cumulonimbus. I want full participation. Almost said precipitation because we're talking about clouds. I want full participation. If you have a way to comment, if you're watching on News 6 Plus and want to get in on this, you can dial up your phone and you can pull up the News 6 YouTube page. You'll see this here, and then you can enter it in the comments. We have a 3-minute break coming. I'm already blowing past it, so we are going to get into that in just about 3 minutes. So you have 3 minutes to look at that and think about it, and we're going to talk all about clouds after this short break. Alrighty, guys, welcome back to the show. Computer had an update for you if you saw that. Well, I have an update for you as well on the trivia question. Before the break, if you were with us, I asked this question. So I'll give you another shot to get your answer in. Which type of cloud is most commonly associated with snowfall? Is it A, cirrus? Is it B, stratus? Is it C, nimbostratus? Or is it D, cumulonimbus? All right, everybody at home, make the drum roll. Here is the answer. If you chose C, nimbostratus, you would be correct. So I know Melissa got it right. Kimberly says, do they have that ball shape? I'll show you the cloud chart in just 1 second that you can kind of pick out which one that you're talking about. So it's the letter C. It's choice C, nimbostratus. So here's the deal with nimbostratus clouds. They are the real thick clouds that typically produce steady, continuous precipitation. We had a lot of them out there the other day. when we had all of that rain coming through. Some of them were cumulonimbus. We did have some thunderstorms out there. But nimbus actually means rain cloud in Latin or snow cloud. That's what produces snow. So NOAA and the National Weather Service and NASA put together this awesome cloud chart here, and I'm going to take this full screen so you can see what's going on. And if you look at the second row on the left, so that is, let me see if I can get my, well, let me telestrate it. So if you're on that second level, the medium level clouds, that is where nimbostratus is. It is really gray. It's a mid-level cloud, so it hangs out on the lower side of that medium level cloud, anywhere from probably 6 to 10,000 feet. But that is what you would see if you have what we call stratiform rainfall or snowfall event going on in the summertime. I know we had a couple of cirrus answers there. The cirrus clouds are those very high wispy clouds. When they kind of try to have any kind of precipitate, they evaporate. So we call those mare's tails because they look like kind of horse tails, like the mare on the back of the hair on the back of a horse, or the tail on the back of a horse. So that's what it kind of looks like there. That's why those are called cirrus clouds. So really cool cloud chart here put together by NOAA and NASA. And of course, cumulonimbus clouds are what we see on a nearly everyday basis. In the summertime, those produce thunderstorms. The cirrus clouds are those higher clouds. And see the halo on the middle of the screen there, third one from the right? We saw those halos last week. That was created from the cirrostratus clouds that have ice crystals. So the cirrus clouds are the ones that are way high up, and I know a lot of people mentioned that in the chat. Those are typically made up of ice crystals, and again, they're the kind of wispy, feathery-looking things way up there. And then what was the other? Stratus was the other one. So we have had a lot of stratus around over the last couple of days. We've had a lot of stratocumulus around too. There's a lot of us's and is's and all that stuff. But we had a lot of stratocumulus around, and it's whenever you get the grayest kind of like almost wavy clouds or the puffy clouds in there. So a lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff when you're talking about clouds. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for playing. We'll have another trivia question coming up on Tuesday. Alrighty, guys, have to get my second break in. When we come back, I know there's some extra questions in the chat. Kimberly Couch, if you found a cloud that you were thinking of, let me know. If not, I'll try to help you out on that side of things. And then I'll go through the comments if there are any questions in there, and I'll do my best to answer them. I'll see you guys in just about 3 minutes. Alrighty, guys. Thanks so much. Just going through the comments here. We had one. Where'd it go? I always have it and then I lose it. 16 Medic RN says, like clouds that go up to 36,000 feet or more. Not sure that's right. Cumulonimbus clouds, they are the ones that grow very, very tall. They are the cauliflower-looking things that you see on a summer day that they start bubbling and billowing and look like a giant cauliflower in the cumulus congestus stage, as we call it. And then it matures into a big old cumulonimbus thunderstorm cloud. And yes, whenever we're talking about severe thunderstorms that we are tracking in the summertime, those can grow to 45, 50,000 feet. In some cases, 60,000 feet. I mean, like double Wurjet aircraft fly. So they can get very, very tall. So that is what the cumulonimbus cloud is, and that's why we get those big thunderstorm events for sure. In terms of mammatus clouds, let's see. I think Kimberly mentioned about mammatus clouds. So mammatus clouds are associated with thunderstorm clouds. And you mentioned about, are the anvil thunderstorm clouds cumulonimbus since they are tall? So a lot of times you'll see mammatus if you are kind of the opposite downwind of the thunderstorm. Those are those kind of like ball-shaped clouds. Let me see if you can see them close here on this chart. They are at the bottom left, right next to the NOAA and NASA logos there on the bottom left. So those are the kind of they almost look like they're pouches hanging from the sky. And that's because they are juiced with moisture and they normally hang off the anvil of the cloud. So there's no rain associated with them. But nonetheless, those are associated with strong thunderstorms. Underneath those clouds, you're not going to see any of the damage or things like that. But when you see mammatus clouds out there, there is a big thunderstorm attached to that thing somewhere. So mammatus clouds are a sight to be seen for sure if you've ever seen them up close, especially like if the sun is setting. Really, really cool sight to see mammatus clouds. But again, a lot of times, I mean, they are attached to thunderstorms, hanging off the anvil there. And you can see that there in the cumulonimbus. Let me get back to the map. The cumulonimbus one is on the far right, second row from the bottom. And there's that iconic anvil of the cumulonimbus cloud. I love talking about clouds. This was a fun one tonight. Thank you guys again for hanging out, playing some trivia, and talking about the chill coming up in just about a couple of minutes. We're going to talk about how chilly it gets tomorrow and when this wind backs off a little bit, just for it to increase again as our next cold front comes through. And that's going to be end of the week. So a lot of stuff to track tonight, but I think all in all, the best weather in the country is going to fall into place by the time we get to the weekend. We'll get some of this dampness out of here and all that stuff. We're going to talk about that much more in detail and talk about the weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes. New 6 at 10. If you are, I've not ordered the firewood yet. I did get one little pouch for Thanksgiving, but I did not order it. I just got one little thing at the store because I ran out of time. I'm hoping to be able to use the fireplace again, but I am not sure. The mega cloud that looks like an alien mothership. Are you talking about on this one here? Could be a lenticular cloud. Those things look like motherships a little time. They're kind of like oval. Or you could be looking at the bottom one there, a shelf cloud or a wall cloud, one of those clouds down there. Normally the ones that look like alien motherships, they're out in the plains and they're what we call low precipitation supercells, and it's the wall cloud associated with that. Those look like alien motherships. Big time. Big time. Cool stuff out there for sure. That's sometimes they produce tornadoes though. Alrighty guys, I have to run. Show coming up in 3 minutes. Thanks so much for having fun with me tonight. See you tomorrow night, 9:30 in a couple of minutes, New 6 at 10. If you're on New 6 Plus, just keep it parked there. You're already right in the right spot. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Have a great night, guys.